Sultan consents to Dato Sri Azmin's federal post. PM meets 1MDB whistleblower Justo. Good afternoon. You're watching News on 2 with me, Amin Carlos. The Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, has consented for Selangor Menteri Besar, Dato Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, to take up the post of Minister of Economic Affairs. The private secretary to the Sultan, Dato Muhammad Munir Bani, said Dato Sri Azmin would, however, remain the state MB temporarily until a new candidate is formally appointed. Now, the Sultan was informed by Dato Sri Azmin that he has agreed to accept the portfolio of Minister of Economic Affairs and that the decision was made after the latter was given explanation and confirmation by the Prime Minister of his jurisdiction and scope of duties under the new ministry. Dato Sri Azmin is required to suggest a list of names for the new Selangor MB for the Sultan to study and consent before an appointment is made. On Friday, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad announced the full list of his proposed cabinet after an audience with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad V and named Dato Sri Azmin as the Minister of Economic Affairs. The PKR Deputy President on Saturday said he was ready to let go of his state MB post if he was needed to assist the new federal government. A former Petro-Saudi International executive, Xavier Andre Justo, had a 90-minute meeting with Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad yesterday, described by the former as intense. Now, Justo is the man who allegedly leaked emails of conversations about financial transactions and deals with One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB. Now, Justo said the meeting was held at Tun Dr. Mahathir's residence and called it a great meeting. Well, Justo's presence in Malaysia comes on the heels of Claire Rucastle-Brown of the Sarawak Report, this blog entering Malaysia after the government withdrew an arrest warrant issued against her for articles published based on hundreds of thousands of emails provided by Justo. Now, the revelations of the tangled web of financial deals and investments involved Pulau Pinang-born businessman Jolo and government-owned 1MDB eventually led to investigations across the world and accusations by the U.S. Justice Department such as $4 billion. Terengganu Menteri Besar Dr. Ahmad Samsuri Mokhtar is waiting for a suitable time to meet and have a discussion with Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad about the oil and gas royalty for the state. Now, oil royalty comes under the jurisdiction of the federal government. Now, asked about the statement by Terengganu PKR Chairman Azan Ismail that the people of Terengganu would still benefit from the royalty, but it would not be directly channeled to the current past state government, Dr. Ahmad Samsuri said it was Azan's personal view. Now, the Terengganu MB also commented on the federal government's plan to review the East Coast Rail Link project. Dr. Ahmad Samsuri said he hoped that the federal government would look into the matter seriously before making a decision by taking into consideration its positive impact on the economy as well as the people of Terengganu. Investigations on Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak over the SRC International Sendirian Berhad case will be conducted in a fair and independent manner. This, according to Pakatan Harapan de facto leader Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who has called on all parties not to pass judgment on the former Prime Minister before a thorough investigation and enforcement of the law were fully complied with. Now, Dato Sri Anwar, who received a pardon from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad V on May 16, now said he hoped any investigation on Dato Sri Najib would be done fairly and independently. Dato Sri Anwar made the statement after a meeting with the former Indonesian President Bakharuddin Jusuf Habibie in conjunction with the 20th anniversary of Indonesia's reform in Jakarta yesterday. Dato Sri Najib is required to be present at the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission's headquarters in Putrajaya tomorrow to allow investigations into the SRC International Sendirian Berhad case. A fishing trip for two senior citizens turned tragic when both fell into a disused mining pond and drowned in Puchong, Selangor. The accident happened at 4:50 p.m. yesterday near La Cottage, Taman Putra Perdana. The bodies of both men were discovered by a group of firefighters late last night, and 6 firemen along with a fire engine from the Cyberjaya Fire and Rescue Station were rushed to the scene upon receiving a distress call. A surface search operation was launched, assisted by the police and a team from the Civil Defense Force. The victims have been identified as 87-year-old Edric Mojutil from Kudat, Sabah, and 78-year-old Musa Na from Belaga, Sarawak. The reintroduction of SST. Will prices go down or remain status quo? Well, stay tuned to News on 2. Base. Now, the sales and services tax in SST is set to make a comeback in the Malaysian tax scene after it was scrapped 3 years ago to make way for the GST. Now, prior to that, the SST had been in place for 40 years. Now, as the government removes one tax and replaces it with another, the question is, will prices go down or will they remain status quo?
Benda ni bukan boleh buat dalam masa yang cepat. So sebab tu perlu ada satu maklumat daripada kerajaan, khususnya daripada Kementerian Kewangan, bila nak dilaksanakan SST tu dan berapa kadar yang akan dikenakan. Dan sama ada kadar tu kita standard rate untuk dua-dua ataupun kadar yang berbeza 10 dengan 6. Tapi kita kena ambil kira juga kadar yang diletakkan ni akan beri kesan kepada hasil dekat atas juga. Kan kalau kita letak kadar yang rendah, cukup dah untuk menampung hasil tu. Kalau kita letak kadar yang tinggi sangat, harga barang macam mana?
Another major concern among analysts and economists is how the government would plug the anticipated shortfall from the zero rating of the GST. Hardly a week since its surprise victory in the 14th general election, the Pakatan Harapan government announced that it would remove the unpopular GST and replace it with the SST. Last Thursday, the Finance Ministry clarified that the GST would be zero rated from June 1st and that the government would reintroduce the SST at a later unspecified date. Now, the Malaysian women's hockey team finished 4th in the Asian Champions Trophy, or ACT, in Donghae, South Korea yesterday. And coach K. Dharmaraj's Chargers lost to world number 8, China, 2-0 in the bronze battle, but gained much for the future. China took the lead in the 14th minute, and then when Malaysia were down one player due to a yellow card infringement, the former increased the lead in the 53rd minute. 5 teams played in Donghae, and Malaysia were the odd one out as they did not qualify for the World Cup in England on July 21st to August the 5th. The Malaysian team beat Japan 3-2 in the pool but lost to India 3-2, South Korea 3-1 and China 3-1 in Donghae. And host South Korea beat India 1-0 for the ACT gold medal. Edition of News on 2. In our top story, Selangor Sultan consents to Menteri Besar Dato Sri Azmin Ali becoming Federal Minister. Now, News on 2 will be back at 7 p.m. Till then, I'm Amin Carlos. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to TV2.